ways, and they're good players. They're going to help Utah Valley.
So here we go. Just about underway at Maples Pavilion, and Maxime Raynaud wins the tap. Officials Michael Greenstein, Darren White, and Jason Gerritsen, and the clock did not start.
That wasn't a turnover. That was just a mishap. They're going to go to the scorer's table and redo this, but not the tip, but inbound.
See how many seconds they take off the clock. There are not 1 minute and 95 seconds remaining.
I don't think so. Not 1957. I can live with that.
Yeah. All right.
They'll get it right.
Yeah, that looks about good. Here's Jaylen Blakes in the starting lineup alongside Sellers, Agarwal, Raynaud, and Aiden Kamen. Pass a little bit behind Raynaud. There's Carter Welling hitting the deck.
Yeah, I don't like that pass. He was open.
Dominic Nelson, no. Ethan Potter, yes.
Yeah, and you know, I love that they went right inside to Maxime Raynaud. He was open. They, instead of throwing a direct chest pass, they went in underneath with a bounce pass. Not the way you want to feed Maxime Raynaud. He's 7 foot plus.
Lenhart, Nelson, Toulson, look out for him. Ethan Potter and Carter Welling, the starting 5 for head coach Todd Phillips. Ryan Agarwal, floater a little short. Agarwal starting his 3rd straight game for the Cardinal.
No, Kevin, when Stanford struggled, they've struggled sometimes at the beginning of the game and the beginning of a half at just getting on the board and getting established.
Tanner Toulson too strong from straight on.
So watch the start here. I think Cal Smith and his staff really concerned about the starts of each half.
Jaylen Blakes, who's been really good this year, transferring from Duke. Little middy's gonna roll around and drop in.
I like the roll in the R. That's pretty good too, but Jaylen Blakes can do that. That's really his bread and butter. If he can get 2 feet in the paint and go up over you, he's pretty steady. He's money from there.
Averaging 15.5 points and 5.5 assists just about. And top 15 in the country in assist to turnover ratio at 5-1. Trevin Lenhart, this is a good player right here. And so is Carter Welling. Oh, we're going to have a blocking foul on Oziyah Sellers.
Yeah, the officials didn't want to call that, but when they saw the shot come out, that's kind of a pro NBA kind of officiated call. You go back and you get the call, but you can see the roll there, and you can see that the last second Sellers steps up. He was outside of the arc in the circle in there, but I thought they must have felt he was still moving.
It looked like that shoulder wasn't completely square. Might have been moving a little bit as Welling hits the first of 2 free throws. Now you look at some of these guys for Utah Valley, Coach, they do not look like a mid-major team. They have some real dudes who could be playing after college.
Well, they do, and they've got some guys that experience. Their program has been successful. Anytime you're playing in a successful program, it carries over. Your newcomers pick up the culture, and your returning guys are used to winning.
And Todd Phillips was an assistant under Mark Madsen at Utah Valley. His 2nd year on the job. Year 1 of the Kyle Smith era for Stanford. Raynaud, so proficient at that job.
Well, he can do that. Make no mistake, Kevin. He's done that in each game he's played, but he's also drifted out sometimes, and he's got to get back on that block and establish himself. But boy, he sure has range, versatility for a big fella.
Averaging 23.4 points, 11.6 caroms corralled per contest. Potter backing his way down, scored 20 at North Dakota this year, and it looked like Kamen kind of pulled the chair on him.
Well, and I like that. Kamen's a pretty good defender at 6'10", but go back to Maxime Raynaud. He's got the ball out on the floor, and you forget as a 7-footer to get out there and challenge him. He'll knock down shots on you if you don't get in him, and then when you do get very aggressive, he'll blow by you to the basket.
He is a 40% three-point shooter as well. Blake, strong take, well defended. There's Welling with a tough rebound.
That's good defense by Utah Valley.
Dominic Nelson, really good in transition. Lenhart, good pass. And Nelson hits the 3, just a 17% three-point shooter, but that one dropped.
Well, he's wide open, and I thought they had Stanford rotating on their rotation, just couldn't quite catch up with the ball and open people.
Todd Phillips saying it shoot around today. They want Dominic shooting that open three, even if he loses confidence in it when it's not dropping. Sellers to the line.
I like Oziyah Sellers, you know, but driving it. But there's a wide open shot, and that's out of rotations, Kevin. You've got to get your rotations down. Anytime you fly and you put two guys on the ball, good teams are going to find the open guy. And I don't care if you're shooting 17%. Most college players are going to make that shot.
Oziyah Sellers, first undergrad transfer at Stanford, alongside Chisamak Para, and Darren Saran since 2009 when Andrew Zimmerman came over from Santa Clara. But Sellers from USC having a great start to the season.
Well, and he's done well. I think he's been a little unselfish. You know, to his credit, he's not a selfish player. But there are times when Stanford's going to need him, Kevin, to step up and kind of take over. He's capable of doing that. And I think as the season goes on, you'll see him assert himself more.
A 1-point lead here for the Wolverines. Nelson. Well defended by Anthony Batson Jr., really good on-ball defender, the freshman. Great take. Nelson, the finish.
Well, I was on a short clock. I was going to say that was great defense by Stanford, but you got to finish the job.
Knocked out of play from behind by Lenhart.
That's so frustrating, Kevin, when you're playing great defense at the last minute. Team exhausts the end of the shot clock to score.
Cameron inside, pivoted into a double team and gets held.
Yeah, he's got to go up, Kevin. I'm not being overly critical, and he'll know that. He's got the ball inside. When you're 1 foot to 2 feet from the basket, that's not the time to be unselfish. you got to go up. He's 6'10", and if nothing else, challenge the team to block your shot or get to the free throw line. But that was a great. I mean, you got the ball inside. You just got to finish.
Possession arrow to UVU. Toulson. Looking pull up, didn't go. Outlet pass a little too far, but saved in by Sellers, who gets it back. Can't finish around Potter.
Oh, what a great play by Maxime Raynaud to save it, and in one motion get it back to Sellers. I think he was caught between a dunk and a layup, maybe. It was a little indecisive.
Potter drawing a crowd, catch and shoot, Toulson.
Yeah, that's a little late. Good shooters, you got to get out. That was a challenge, but it was not a challenge up. It was a challenge out, and you've got to get up and challenge hard. But Utah Valley doing a good job early.
Up 6, nearly forced a turnover on Blakes there. That does not happen often. Raynaud drawing 2, good kick. Blakes powering into the paint, and he'll shoot a free throw on the other side of the timeout. Good take by Jaylen Blakes. So that'll send us to the under 16. A good start for the Wolverines, leading Stanford by 4 in enemy territory here on ACC Network Extra.
Yeah, their starts, they got to step it up a little bit. Utah Valley's scrappy. They're tough.
They are. Brandon and I worked together, though. Back then, I would have told you he worked under me. I was the head manager here his freshman year. Despite my best efforts to instill unhealthy and insane working habits in him, he really thrived in his role, became a great CEO of the manager position as an upperclassman. He had a swagger about him that I don't think I've ever seen from any other manager. He was hilarious, and he will be missed.
Great tribute from you, too, Kevin. It's tough. Sorry for your loss.
Back to work here. It is a 4-point lead for Utah Valley. Chisamak Para checking in. Going to Hayden Welling. Good defense, and they don't exactly secure the rebound, but Stanford will get the basketball.
Well, I did think that was a better possession defensively. I thought the pressure on the ball was good. Their rotations were better. They seemed to be talking, communicating more. I mean, Kyle Smith and his staff are pretty good with their teams coming out of timeouts. I think he knows what to do and what to direct, what they need to do, and they pretty much did that on that possession.
Benny Gieler into the game, coming off a really nice performance against Cal Poly, 17 points and 5 steals. Go inside Raynaud, good catch. He's doubled. Keeler, strong on the three, 39% three-point shooter. Wide open, it's Stinson. Evan Stinson hadn't played all season. This is his collegiate debut. That's a pretty nice first touch of the rock.
Yeah, he's making coach look good, Kevin. I used to put guys in when they did that. I said, hey, help me get a raise.
And he gets a steal and loses it right back. Nelson ran into Raynaud, who really altered the shot. Sellers in the open court. We'll get a foul.
I like the up and down play. There's a lot of transition basketball, but you know, it's so refreshing to see a new player get in his first touch. Just shoot it with confidence. I mean, there's no hesitation. If you're a shooter, Kevin, the worst thing you can ever do is hesitate. You know you've made that shot. You've practiced it thousands of times. Stop thinking about it. For crying out loud, go up and shoot it. That's what he did.
The freshman from Cheney, Washington. That's Eastern Washington territory. Three-star recruit. 25, 5, and 5 in high school. As Agarwal hits the three, the redshirt sophomore from Texas.
There's something about that corner, Kevin. That's a pretty familiar corner for Stanford, but you can see Raynaud's ability to pass. I mean, you get open shots, open looks. I think Stanford will knock those down.
Cardinal regaining the lead, currently on an 8-0 run. Kylan Green setting up Toulson, who drills it.
It shows you his range. I mean, he might have even gotten fouled on that play. I think referees deemed that was after the shot, but my goodness, what great range.
He's a really good player. Raynaud the touch inside.
Now that's what Maxime Raynaud has to do, and you know, Benny Gieler's a veteran. He knows how to get the ball to the big fella. They're close. They've played a lot of basketball together, and that's what you want to do. Get the ball to the big guy when he's open, not after the fact.
4 points for Maxime, still looking for his first rebound is Hayden Welling around and out and tapped out. Corey Wells trying to keep it alive.
Don't shoot again, take him.
Akpara and out to Utah Valley. So that'll take us to the under 12 timeout. Stanford in a tight one with Utah Valley through the first 8 minutes and 16 seconds. Raynaud's bucket giving the Cardinal the lead. Back here at Maples Pavilion, Cardinal nursing a 1-point edge early on here against Utah Valley Wolverines out of the Western Athletic Conference. Expect to finish 5th in WAC play this year. Nice feed to Welling, but wow, the defense from Akpara.
That's a big time stop right there, Kevin.
And here comes the Harvard transfer, hard to the hole.
Well, how about that? For a stop on one end and just a really tough finish on the other. That's what they need from Chisholm Akpara. He gives them that, and Stanford's another level basketball team.
Yeah, still kind of finding his way here. He averaged more than 16 a game for Harvard last season.
And and you can see, I mean, his ability. Watch this. I mean, he just is all in the space of Utah Valley. Now he gets the ball in the offensive end in transition. I like his ability to just get to the basket, just doesn't, you know, cuts through the defense and scores it. Nothing fancy, just decides he's going to put his head down and get there.
Cyrus Grady with the rock into the ball game. Reserve big, head coach Todd Phillips. Welling has a good look. Wells the rebound. Nelson got hit upside the head.
Yeah, you got to grab that again. You know, Kevin, that's not what Stanford wants from their players, is to get the ball tipped on the defensive end. You got to go up. They had a chance to close the deal. They're playing good defense. Now the shot goes up off the glass. and they have guys tipping the ball. That's what you do on offense. You don't do that on defense because if you can get two hands on it, you're off and running the other direction.
We saw Kyle Smith, first-year head coach for Stanford, Todd Phillips in his second-year coach. You know both of these staffs pretty well.
Well, I do, and there's a lot of familiar faces on both sidelines. Obviously for Stanford, to see Jim Shaw and, to see Derek Roble, who was my assistant back when I was at Cal. Eric Revenue, the longtime Stanford guy, thorn in my side, by the way, when I used to play games here. Eric and his own head coach as well at Portland, and was assistant Georgia Tech. He's been around, but he's just a great coach. I've known that staff a really long time.
Ryan Agrawal to a wide open Benny Giler.
Yeah, and he's saying it's about time. I mean, he's such a good shooter. He's able to, knock down shots. His percentage has been down the last few games, but you do not want to leave him open. He can flat out stroke it.
He had 6 threes against Cal State Fullerton earlier this year as Ethan Potter shows some nice touch inside.
Yeah, they've been pretty good about getting it into the paint on Stanford. Stanford's allowed the ball to get in deep.
Utah Valley plays more of a traditional game, if you will. To go inside as Parra is fouled.
And I like that. I like the look inside. Right there, you can see it. I mean, there's the look inside. There's the swing to Benny Giler, and I mean, Benny Giler, he's just got a great stroke. Maybe he lost his confidence after a first couple of games, but boy, he's got it back.
He started his career as a walk-on. He's just so good in practice and became a guy you couldn't take off the floor, gave him a scholarship.
No, and he's got he's had the opportunity now. And when you get the opportunity, sometimes that's all guys need. And he's gotten a lot of opportunities to show what he can do, and he's been very instrumental in their early success.
Parra going 0 for 2, just a 59% foul shooter on the season.
Yeah, you can tell he's frustrated, a little upset with himself, but I'm going to have to go get him after this game and explain to him that you can fit 2 basketballs in the rim, side by side and front back.
Yeah, that's one of those things you don't necessarily believe, but it is a pretty wide rim.
I have a theory on that. I'll try to get back to it when we have a break.
Welling, face up.
Boy, what the hell, boy? You got that shot?
Blakes on the baseline, reversing it up and in. Yeah, it didn't look like there was much real estate down there, but Jaylen Blakes doesn't need a lot of real estate, Kevin. You get him around the rim, he's pretty adept.
Second bucket for the former Duke Blue Devil. Graduated Duke in 3 years and using his grad transfer year here at Stanford.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, graduating from Duke in 3 years, not easy to do. Nelson amongst the trees. Well, to just get that to the rim. Parra in transition. Blakes on the drive, draws the foul.
I like the lane that Jaylen Blakes used right there. You got to hug up. You got to hug up and watch what he does when he's got the ability to get to the rim with no help. Uses either hand, but now he's got Raynaud standing next to him. You're not going to come off of Maxime Raynaud because he's a great shooter. So Jaylen Blakes is intelligent. He said, look, you're not going to have a help guy. I'm going to attack. And that's what you have to do sometimes, Kevin. You got to put the ball down and try to find openings on the floor. And when you have the ball in the middle of the floor, everybody's a pass away. You have opportunities to drive it, and that's what Jaylen Blakes did.
Yeah, Kyle Smith saying a pleasant surprise is scoring. You never know. The guy played 9 minutes a game at Duke, so didn't get a lot of court time. They knew they were going to have a hard-nosed defender, but 15 points and 5 assists, that's pretty good too.
And I like the 5-to-1 assist to turnover, and how about the 2.5 steals a game? I'll give me those stats any day of the week.
The lead is 5. Stanford's left some points at the line, just 3 of 7 from the charity stripe. Corey Wells played NAIA ball for 4 years. Goes out of bounds.
Great hustle by Stanford. They turned the screen down. I like that they pushed the ball to the baseline. 2 guys attack the ball at the baseline, force it baseline. It's almost a triple team. You've got the baseline as a 3rd defender. Ran out of real estate. They choked off one side of the floor and came up with a loose ball. Great team defense by Stanford.
Blakes was in the middle of that. Sellers off his screen. They post up Raynaud. Fading away off 1 foot. Overcooked it.
I don't think Kyle Smith liked that shot selection choice from Maxime Raynaud, although he gives the big fella a lot of leeway, as he should.
Stripped by Cam, and Carter Welling first to the deck. Big collision, good hustle both ways. Sellers on the leak out.
Stanford does that, Kevin, they're a different team. When they can scrap on defense, come up with loose balls, forcing again now Todd Phillips to use a timeout, but you get it out on the break. Oziyah Sellers knows what to do. He streaks and he gains momentum with the slam. Stanford up.
Look at that, 15,000 miles total plus for this past month.
You've not been there, done that, Kevin. Mid-majors, you have to do that, but Todd Phillips did a great job. How about a win at Murray State? They don't give up many wins in their gym. Great job by Todd Phillips and his staff.
Won one game at the Sanford Thanksgiving Invitational and almost beat Sanford as well, who's a pretty good team.
Super soaker.
Trevin Lenhart.
No.
Wells wide open. That is not close.
You're garbage. Holy shit.
Toulson got called for the loose ball foul.
Yeah, Stanford again fortunate. They still couldn't secure the missed shot rebound. You've got to go up there and grab that. Just seems like maybe need some glue on those paws. But Stanford came up with the ball and they're coming back the other direction. But you mentioned Murray State, and I've been impressed with Coach Phillips and familiar face over there too. Todd Okeson, veteran coach, Coach Mutcherson, but Adam Jacobson, Casey Jacobson's brother,
yes,
veteran coach for the Utah Valley squad, and Adam Jacobson, a longtime player at Pacific and also great coach there for their great teams, and it's good to see him back on the sideline, and known him over the years.
I'd qualify that foul from Corey Wells as a bad foul on a 20% three-point shooting Jaylen Blakes.
Yeah, you want to make him prove himself. Stanford's been able to get to the line. That's been something they've done this year. They've gotten there a little under 200. With a number of times, a little under 200. Both of these teams have lived at the foul line. That's why they've been successful. And when you can get to the foul line, so many things happen. Your foul guys up. Get the bonus. Like it.
Hit the first two, missing the third. 7 straight for Stanford over the last 2.5 minutes. Hammond, some pretty good ball pressure. Hayden Welling, good take, can't finish. Raynaud the rebound.
Well, Raynaud's way up above the rim to snatch that rebound now.
Takes the three. Offensive rebound here for Blakes. Stinson fakes the pass. Good look, just a little short. Wells. A block, but a foul. Stinson, it looked pretty clean up top, but might have got him with the body.
Yeah, Kevin, I think you're right. The ball was really, I think, defended well, but I think you're right. It had to be the body because that was a pretty clean block.
Honestly, I didn't see a lot of body contact there either.
Liability.
Sure, Kyle Smith is making it to the official.
Wells missing the first free throw, and Todd Phillips saying he's made a nice adjustment.
They're talking about it now.
Yeah.
And you can see Coach Smith's just saying, look, Darren White, veteran official, by the way. You guys might have missed that one.
Well, ball don't lie is what Kyle Smith might say.
Well, Darren is pleading his case, and so is Kyle Smith, but the officials don't have to plead their case. The call's made.
Wells 0 for 2. He's made a nice transition from NAIA ball to Division I. Raynaud tapping it out. Threw that one right to Lenhart. Might have taken a deflection along the way. Trevin Lenhart and one.
Yeah, that's a tough play because, there are good turnovers, Kevin, and there are bad turnovers. That's a bad turnover because it leads to a direct breakout and score. The hesitation, you read the defense, and now you're already on the break. Maybe take a foul a little bit earlier. If you're Benny Gieler, don't wait for the shot, or you let him go. And you're kind of in between right there, and now you get a chance to maybe have a three-point play. But
Really good all-around player, Trevin Lenhart. I'll give you almost 8 points, 5.5 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals.
yeah, there's something going on, Kevin. I don't know what it is, but there's just a lot of tip balls. You're at the free throw line. You've got guys blocked out, and if you just secure with 2 hands, it shouldn't happen. But Stanford just giving up second chance opportunities for Utah Valley. They're too good to do that.
Yeah, the Wolverines out rebounding Stanford by 3 right now as Toulson takes off.
Well, if you just thought he was a shooter, think again. He's a driver. He's explosive. Yeah, he's a competitor.
He's a future pro somewhere. He's playing basketball for money in his 20s and 30s. Blakes, the spin, got off balance and turns it over. Aidenwell in attacking Keeler. 5th rebound for Raynaud. Only had 5 rebounds all Saturday against Cal Poly. In and out. Toulson, catch and shoot in transition.
Yeah, both teams not afraid to get up and down and see if they can get some shots. You know, think about it. Rather than play against a set defense, try to beat people down the floor and get some open looks. Both teams have had them.
Stinson trying to drive on Nelson. Mitty short. I know it's kind of falling away there. With a cold start for Maxime, now 2 for 7. And 1, Tanner Toulson.
Well, you can see Utah Valley getting their confidence, Kevin. They're getting out in transition. They're attacking the rim with force, and they're able to get to the basket. I mean, most of their points now are coming at the rim. They've hit a couple threes, but they are scoring inside. It's Stanford that's got to find a way to stop this Utah Valley team from scoring. We'll be back. Well, let's take a look, Kevin, at Tanner Toulson and his skill levels. I mean, he's a highly skilled player. He catches it, drives, spins, splits, and finishes. I mean, and draws the foul. I mean, you couldn't do it any better than that. He's a real load. He's tough in transition. He's tough in the open court. But also in the half court, you've got to get out to him and try to get a stop early and maybe get it out of his hands.
Comes from a long line of Toulson's brother Connor played at Utah Valley from 2016 to 2019 and played for Todd Phillips at Salt Lake Community College, where he was previously a head coach for 8 years. His cousin Ryan Toulson played at Utah Valley in the 2000s. Cousin Jake played at Utah Valley from 2017 to 19. His father Andy was a 10-year pro, played a couple years with the Utah Jazz, and averaged 18 a game as a senior at BYU.
That's a family affair.
Yes, it is. And he completes the three-point play, and Utah Valley has scored the last 7.
Yeah, they were, Stanford was in a really good place until Utah Valley just came storming back with a run of their own.
Darren Saran has checked in for the first time in this game. It's his 5th appearance of the season, the UC Irvine transfer. He was there at UC Irvine with the Welling brothers. Ryan Agrawal off the bounce to the hoop.
Yeah, I like the aggression. Don't settle for threes. Your shot hasn't been going down, at a great rate. So if you're Stanford, let's get out there and let's attack. I like that aggression.
Agrawal with 5 points, one of 4 known players in Division I of Indian descent. Potter, no. There's another second chance opportunity for Utah Valley. Good pass fake. Welling soaring to the hoop. Took off a little too far, though, from the bucket.
Yeah, he had a shot, Kevin. I think he was trying to posterize somebody and wasn't quite as close to the rim as you thought.
Sellers.
And there's Sellers. Oziyah Sellers. Yeah, that was a sky from the free throw. That was almost like a dunk contest shot.
Yeah.
But how about Sellers coming right back and answering?
6 points for Sellers. Good on-ball defense, Jaylen Blakes.
Yeah, look at Ryan Agrawal, Kevin. He's able to now. He doesn't like the post up, so they're hugging up on Kamen. And as I mentioned last time previously, he just drives it to the middle because there's no help. Everybody glued up.
Made his 3rd start of the season tonight, Ryan. Nice deflection off Para.
I got you.
Thank you, Coach.
Ball coming over this way. Kevin, you can get out from under the table now. I got you.
It's safe now?
Yeah. I was kind of moving a little bit the other direction, too. I didn't want to get hit.
Lenhart, good kick out. Nelson, a lot of time to think about that one.
Yeah, too much time.
You can tell some form work probably be worked on in the offseason. Step through. Akpara, no.
That was an aggressive move to the basket. Akpara almost with the finish. Maxime Raynaud on the bench right now, getting a rest. Probably come back at the scorers table with Jaylen Blakes. Both players, leading scorers, ready to come back in next whistle.
Maxime doesn't sit much. He's averaging 35 minutes a game. Late clock. Wilson's going to have to make something happen here. Grady. Agrawal might have got a piece of that.
Well, I like the defense by Stanford. I mean, they made Utah Valley, who is a patient team when they don't have transition, really exhaust. And I think that's just a good possession. If Cal Smith's team can put a couple of those together and manage to get on the board, that they're capable to run. You've got 2 minutes left in this half. I know if you're Stanford, you don't want to go in the locker room tied up or trailing. You want to try to extend this lead and get yourself a little cushion.
Yeah, led by 9 at the break against Cal Poly. Gave up 63 in the second half. Lost by 7.
Yeah, Raynaud was at the block and just got it punched back out. Now he has to get a deep post up.
Agrawal gets tied up. Possession arrow will keep it with the Cardinal.
You know, post feeding is really it's a tricky thing because if you post feed on one side of the floor, there's a lot of help. There's double teams. High lows are sometimes the easiest way to go into your post guy with no help. In other words, you front Raynaud, you lob, he goes for the lob and scores it. If you play dead behind him, he's going to go over either shoulder, so wouldn't be surprised to see that. There's Sellers. My goodness. He's going to step up for Stanford here, Kevin, because he can do that. He can get this team going.
So, Coach, you got to love that, the quick hitter off the inbounds pass.
No, it's a great play and great finish.
Post up Grady. Blakes not giving an inch.
Air ball, shoot it, air ball.
Wells now.
Nope.
Great defense by Jaylen Blakes.
Phenomenal defense.
Wells. That's 2 straight shot clock violations.
And you said this. But I mean, look at Jaylen Blakes, what he did defensively. My goodness, he's all over the place. He switches out. He's right there. I mean, he was single-handedly causing havoc against Utah Valley. He's a tremendous defender, Kevin. I mean, he's a guy, if he can stay out of foul trouble, that will really wreak havoc on the other team.
Averages more than 2 steals per game. Have one yet today. They go inside, Raynaud, magnifique.
Well, there's the high-low I was talking about, Kevin. You can't stop that. You get the pass from Blakes down low, no help side.
Makes it a 10-point lead, 8-0 run for the Cardinal. Not stopped by Toulson. No real numbers, about a 7-second difference between shot and game.
Well, if you're Stanford now, you probably want to go down on the shot clock and see if you can just get the last shot, maybe an offensive rebound, and give Utah Valley as little time as possible to come down and try to convert.
Blakes a lob for Maxime!
Or get a dunk from Maxime Raynaud, if that happens first.
That works too, Coach. Lenhart going a little too quickly, and Stanford nearly forced a turnover.
Yeah, it's too bad. I think Sellers had a chance to go the other direction. I always see players bouncing a loose ball instead of grabbing it. But I'll tell you, what a sequence down there. My goodness. If Stanford can get a stop here, they've accomplished their goal. I mean, they've gone into the locker room with momentum. A pretty comfortable lead, although I said that last week, and Cal Poly came back, but they'll take it if they can get it.
Well, and he's got to make something happen. And just well contested. Incredible defense over the last 4 minutes from Stanford as they finish the first half on a 10-0 run to take a 12-point lead into the break.
Yeah, Kevin, if Toulson and you give him open threes, I don't care what his percentage is. He's a competitor. He's going to hit them, and he's able to rebound and do what his team needs him to do. And now if you're Stanford, you want to start this half the way you finished it in the first.
Ended the first half on a 10-0 run. Hayden Welling getting the second half start. Nelson rattles out for him.
Not a bad looking shot. I thought defended well, but certainly a shot he can make.
So Ethan Potter started the first half, will come off the bench here in the second. Chisholm Akpara, no good. Raynaud, good tap. And Blakes will get back to the line for free throw attempts, 7 and 8 already.
Yeah, I like the way that took place. Right away they went inside to Maxime Raynaud. He was able to get the ball across the way, and the ball got rotated, and I thought that Blakes does what he does. He gets the foul line.
4 for 7 now tonight. He's a 78% foul shooter coming in.
Yeah, he's been there a ton, but the ball's in his hands, Kevin, and he's able to, draw fouls. He's strong. He's able to absorb contact, doesn't mind contact. A lot of players do. He doesn't. But this is what he really does. He defends. He gets in your grill.
Nice give and go with Lenhart.
Yeah, maybe a little too aggressive that time. Just, for a second, he lost sight of his man. He got back cut. Good defense on the ball, but now you got to drop the level of the ball.
Sellers off the screen. Fading away. Toulson the miss. Now there's Blakes. Might save it to a teammate, and Agarwal gets the deflection, but man, Blakes gets his hands in there, almost saved it.
Yeah, I'm a pretty safe guy when I go out, but I'm going to keep my valuables right in my back pocket because he'll pick your pocket. Now, Jaylen Blakes is tremendous with his hands. He's got quick hands, but even better anticipation, Kevin. That's how he gets so many steals.
Well, Stanford recruited him out of high school. He used to go to Duke, got his degree there in 3 years.
Yeah, I've only had one player that did that. That was Dennis Gates, who, by the way, is coaching at Missouri and had a big win over former standout at Stanford, Mark Manson's team at Cal. Great game, high-scoring affair.
Part of the SEC ACC challenge.
Yeah, they had to come back from 16 down. Cal had things going their way until Missouri made a tremendous run in the second half.
Cal's good this year.
Oh, they're deep. It's going to be a barn burner this Saturday, but let's not get ahead of ourselves yet.
Missing the lob. And here's Raynaud. Such good footwork with the Euro step for the Frenchman.
I mean, he should do the Euro step. He's from France. That's a Euro step. He's used to it, but you know, that's a great play in transition. How about a 7-footer that can get up and down the floor and give you that kind of finish?
He's playing in the NBA next year.
I think so. But yeah, we're looking. The ACC's had some pretty good wins this year. We'll get back to that in a second. But here's the step through. I mean, he just kind of let the defense go by. But if you look at it, you know, this is going to be an interesting year in the ACC. I can't believe it starts this Saturday with Cal and Stanford scoring on.
Yeah,
that's fast.
Man, yeah. There's Raynaud. By the way, SEC undefeated in the SEC ACC challenges. Chisholm Okpara takes it to the 10.
Well, SEC having a pretty good year as well. There was a time that you might not have seen that with the dominance of the ACC.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But
Nelson kicking it out. Toulson off the catch.
Yeah, good challenge. Well, there we go. They had Raynaud inside deep, just waited maybe a second too long.
There's Blakes. Gets the screen. Drills the 3.
Kevin, he adds that to his repertoire, and watch out, because he has not been on fire from 3 this year. But if he can knock that 3-point shot down, it's lights out.
Maxime, the defense. This is a 19-2 run going back to the first half.
Yeah, a little quick on the trigger by Raynaud. He could have got to the rim.
Toulson, short, and there's Lenhart.
Yeah, and Kyle Smith is just, you know, he's a coach. He's going to be upset. He likes the way his team's playing, but he just doesn't like those little slips. And they're mental errors more than anything. They're just, you kind of give in a little bit. Now you take your run, and he just takes a little bit of the sting and puts you, you know, gets you upset because you could have done a little bit more.
Okpara, good head fake.
Yeah, great job by Chisholm Okpara of keeping his pivot feet down, Kevin. I mean, he can do that. He's been quick. There's Blakes again. Watch out.
Oh, and hits the deck.
You got to love Jaylen Blakes. There's just nothing safe when you're around him in the basketball. My goodness. Here's Jaylen Blakes. You think I'm a driver? How about me from 3? I can do that from deep. Count it. Let's get this out of here. Stanford up big.
Lives. You can join the fight against cancer by visiting v.org/donate. 100% of your donation goes directly to cancer research. It's an extended 21-4 Stanford run to pull the lead out to 19. In and out, nearly 22 on the lead, but there's a loose ball foul down low.
But Chisholm Okpara is doing work. I mean, he's out there pounding the glass. He's been aggressive this game, Kevin, and when he's been aggressive this year, that's been a good sign for Stanford. But you see, he's in there. He just got shoved to the ground. I mean, they're worried about him on the glass.
Ball hits the floor. Blakes catch and shoot. Nelson on the run out. Oh, Okpara playing that perfectly.
Wow, that was a really good defensive play by Chisholm Okpara. I mean, watch the break here. He just splits the difference, anticipates, uses his wingspan, and breaks up what looked like a sure 2.
A quick note, Utah Valley mentioned Ethan Potter started the game. Hasn't seen the floor in the second half. Looking at the bench, he looks like he might be a little ill. Hopefully he's okay, but judging by his posture and had a towel over his head for a little bit. Might not be feeling all that great.
Well, if you're playing against Jaylen Blakes, I don't think you could be feeling pretty good anyways. How about Jaylen Blakes? That's only his first foul, and he's had games this year where he's been in foul trouble. But now you hope players aren't injured, but the way he looks, you think there's something wrong. But you got to be impressed again. Jaylen Blakes, we've talked about him, and he's done well offensively this year. But where he's made his mark and really dominated is on the defensive end.
Kylan Green, backup guard. Here's Toulson. Runner, no. Through the legs of Oziyah Sellers. Great Euro step by Nelson.
You know, Utah Valley has a way, Kevin. They just seem to make something out of nothing. You thought that was Stanford's ball going the other direction, and they managed to keep it alive and come up with a loose ball and a steal and got the 2 points and got rewarded.
Plenty of time for them to get back in this game. 17 points ain't what it used to be, Coach.
No, and Cal Smith and his team know that better than anybody.
Barra stripped. That's off him, out of play. Nelson, the swipe down.
Now, but you can see what we talked about. Just, Stanford's got it. It doesn't seem like they've got the glue. I mean, you got to stick somehow, and then Utah Valley keeps it alive. But on the other end, it's Utah Valley again that's coming up with the ball. So you're right, there's no lead is safe. Kyle Smith knows that. As good as they played in this half, he knows that teams have come back on his team. He's concerned, and he wants the momentum to stop.
Geeler and Stinson in. Well defended there by Raynaud, who is now 1 rebound shy of his 8th double-double this season. Double-double in all but one game, and that was the last game. Pass a little too high for Stinson there.
Well, I like the back cut by Stinson. And the pass maybe could have been led a little bit more to the basket, but Raynaud actually found him. Again, though, you got to grab with 2, Kevin. That's a one-hand grab, unless you're Jerry Rice. And you and I know Jerry Rice well. You grab with 2. He can grab with 1. He's good enough.
Jeez, that is a rebound and a half. There's the double-double for Maxime.
Yeah, he went high in the air for that.
Actually, that went to Cameron, rather.
Yeah, that's a good-looking shot for Maxime Raynaud. He'll make that shot more than he misses it, but he got it.
Changed it back to Raynaud. I thought that was Raynaud on the rebound as that layup goes in. So 10 and 10 for Maxime Raynaud with 2 steals. Utah Valley making a little push here.
Yeah, you're concerned if you're Stanford because they have the ability to come back. Stanford a little bit of a lull right now. Haven't got good looks last couple times down.
Raynaud guarded by a guy about a foot shorter than him right now in Green. They get it inside to Cameron, who's fouled.
Well, you can see Maxime Raynaud talking to his team. They got some good high-low action going. There's this pass over the top again. That's the one-hand grab. I'd like to see 2. I'm pretty tough on guys, but I've had a number of post players, and they just, for whatever reason, Kevin, they love to grab with 1. You go with 2, and you secure it.
Did Devon Harden grab with 1 hand or 2?
We had a lot of guys that they always told me that, well, if they grab with 1, they can go up higher. I said, yeah, how did that work out for you? When it went out of bounds and you didn't secure the ball. But you put 2 hands on the ball, Kevin, you might be a couple inches shorter, but you're for sure going to get a chance to get a foul or a basket. It's just a habit. And, if you're a post player, you want good habits.
Akpara couldn't keep it in play, and so that's another turnover.
Yeah, and again, great execution, back cut. Akpara wide open, stops at the block, but the pass goes, a little too far. And again, though, a one-hand grab, not 2. There must be something about this one-hand catching. Jerry Rice, maybe the Bay Area started something bad, because I think he just made it look so easy, but I think he still put 2 hands on the ball a lot as well.
Green, no good there.
Yeah, they got Raynaud right to the rim. I mean, he's got a guy dead on his back.
Double comes and nearly.
But Kevin, that ball's got to go in sooner. I don't know if we had a chance to see that, but Raynaud runs to the rim. He gets a guy in his back, and you got to be watching. There he is. He's down there. He was down there for eons.
Yes.
And by the time the ball goes inside, he's got 2 guys on him. You got to look at Raynaud when he's first open, not after the fact.
Raynaud working on the perimeter here. Geeler catch and shoot.
Ooh,
halfway down.
You can tell he's got a pure shot. That was every bottom and out.
Nelson, coast to coast.
Well, you talked about this, Kevin. You said, you know, Utah Valley still in the game, and look at this. They're creeping back in this game, and you know what? Kyle Smith's calling a really well-advised timeout, but it's Stanford that's hanging on. They're up by 13, but don't go anywhere. This game's threatening to be a good one.
Averaging 13 points and 6 rebounds, and Coach, he's already there in this game with 12 minutes to play.
No, he's done a great job, and you know, he's a guy that has not shot the three very well this year, but he does get to the rim. He does some good things for his team. So with the effort he's had, you can see how really agile he is, how adept he is using both hands, and how quick he is. So if you're Stanford, you got to know where he's at. Utah Valley in a little bit of a zone right here.
Geeler gets to the elbow and sticks the Jimmy.
Now, I like that shot for Benny Geeler. He's obviously a three-point shooter, but when you get pressured and you can go by somebody, you know, pull up and take what the defense gives you. That's exactly what he did.
There's Nelson, JUCO transfer from Polk State College.
Yeah.
And that takes us to that pesky extra mandatory timeout in the second half. We'll take a break. Stanford up 15. Great Utah Valley contingent here at Maples Pavilion. This 7-game road trip, more than 15,000 miles traveled. How's that catch up to it?
It does. I mean, but they've done well. By the way, there's a green out here in the red territory.
Yeah. Their AD is here. Dr. Jared Sumption is. Kylan Green just cut this to a 12-point game.
Well, Stanford doesn't score. Utah Valley gets a stop and scores. They've now made it a single-digit game. That's not what Kyle Smith wanted to see after having his team lead by almost 20.
So we just had 2 timeouts in a row. Coach, you and I were talking about this. Now that extra mandatory in the second half, I think we could do without.
No, they got to change that. And I think once upon a time, I know the NBA does it. College should do it too. You don't want to talk to your team for 5 minutes. You know, there's a timeout call that should be designated the TV timeout, and I think all would be well. But they may review that as time goes on. There's Agarwal wide open from 3. Can't get it to go down.
Blakes the offensive rebound, goes right down Broadway and takes a hard fall.
But see, that's what I referred to earlier, Kevin. Jaylen Blakes is not afraid to give up his body. I mean, he's a little rattled now, but he goes inside. He knows he's in the land of the Giants. He gets knifed kind of by one defender into the other. But, you know, he's a tough kid, and you want kids like that. It rubs off on your team when you can go in and just know that you're going to absorb contact and get 2 points maybe the hard way. When they've needed baskets this year, when Stanford's been struggling, they've looked at Jaylen Blakes to go to the rim and Oziyah Sellers and get it the hard way. That's by earning it and going to the foul line.
10 free throw attempts. He's hit 7.
That's pretty good.
He's up to 16 points. His sister, Michaela, is a freshman for Vanderbilt, averaging almost 20 points per game. She's a McDonald's All-American. There's Dominic Nelson right back at you.
Well, we couldn't talk about him enough. We just saw a highlight package by our producer, and he did a nice job highlighting what he can do, but he does it again. He turns the corner. The help is late. He hesitates. I like the give and go, the kind of hesitate, lower the shoulder, and then get the ball off the glass with a chance for a 3-point play. And, you know, they just aren't going away, Utah Valley.
That free throw cuts it to 11 with 11 minutes to go.
And here's a full court press. This is something that Utah Valley is now going to extend. They're going to go to a little bit of a trapping press, see if they can get Stanford off of their rhythm. Get the ball out of Jaylen Blakes' hands.
And they force a turnover. Green, single-digit deficit. Couldn't get it across half court last time and struggling here. Tie up this time in possession arrow to Utah Valley.
Yeah, there's a lot of dribbling, Kevin, and the ball in Jaylen Blakes' hands is good, but he's trying to split 2 guys or 3 guys there. You got to look down the floor, and also it's up to the guys down the floor not to stand they've got to come running back. You run as far as you can, run through the ball. You come to help your teammates. You're getting double teamed. 3 guys are in the back court. That means there's 3 guys open in the forecourt here, front court, and they just have to keep coming back till they're open. Now you see Stanford going to a little bit of their matchup zone. See if they can slow down Utah Valley.
Nelson off for Welling, misses right at the rim. Stop allows Stanford to not face a press.
Well, that would have been a big basket. Utah Valley gets that one.
Power dribble, Akpara to Raynaud.
Raynaud thought he got fouled, probably did, but you know what? Maxime Raynaud, go do that again. Duplicate that play. They need him. Here's Stanford back in the zone. See if they can keep Utah Valley off their mark. They did the last possession.
Raynaud 12 and 12, defending Welling, misses the reverse. Sellers slaps it away and sends it in with a foul. That is a bad foul from Jaylen Green.
Now, that's a bad foul, but that's an excellent play by Oziyah Sellers. My goodness. I mean, Stanford had this thing, Utah Valley had this lead down to 6 or 7, and look what just happened. I mean, that's a really good tip out, but who's around the ball? Oziyah Sellers gets it, takes it up, and there's the hand, there's the push. Great call by the official. You know, you can't put your hands on somebody, and they're trying to protect players because you're airborne. You don't want a hand in your back. I like the call.
I mean, Coach, at that point, you just got to let him go.
You don't. Yeah, you just get out of the way. You'll take the 2 points. It was a turnover, but now if you're Stanford, you got a little bit of a lead. But you know they haven't done well with prosperity. They got to show that they can handle this.
Good look inside. Welling feeding Nelson. Carter Welling, pretty good passer.
Yeah, great passer, but that was a gamble, and you got burned for gambling.
Parra thought about it. He'll drive Grady. Agarwal, bottoms of 3.
Well, those are good shots, Kevin. With Stanford getting those kind of looks, 2 guys stopping the basketball in penetration and just making the simple pass, simple shot.
5th made 3 for Stanford. 5th made 3 for Utah Valley, courtesy of Carter Welling.
And he can do that. He can give Raynaud a little of his own medicine, step out to the 3-point line and drain it.
That's his first made shot. He's 1 for 9.
He's capable. There's no doubt, and he hit a big shot.
12-point game, Raynaud.
Yeah, there's a double team on the dribble. There it is from the baseline side.
Agarwal again. Off to Utah Valley.
I like the way that Utah Valley and other teams so far have played Maxime Raynaud, but you can see this. And here's the 3-point shot that we saw. There's a drive, you draw 2, and that's just a simple shot. But getting back to Raynaud, and he's going to get double teamed this year. He's probably going to get triple teamed. Does he get doubled off the catch or off the dribble? You don't know. And does he get doubled from the middle or the baseline? He's seen both this year. So you got to be ready for those double team schemes and pass out of it.
Lenhart gets the screen. Shimmying inside with the left. Nicely done.
Yeah, I think as a defender, you got to stay grounded, make guys go through you. The pivot has really paid off well for Utah Valley. They're very good using their pivot feet.
What were you saying about Stanford not doing so well with success? It's back to 10.
No, it's been a challenge for Stanford. The good news is they've gotten there, but they've just given it up.
And a run out here for Toulson with Akpara to feed, who says, What a block. Raynaud.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. I mean, they went for the poster shot instead of maybe the sure layup. I know if he had that one to do over again, I might not have gone for the poster shot. Maybe the 2-pointer.
Yeah, they were going for an uppercut. Akpara knocked it off Green.
Chisholm Akpara. Here it is. Here's the play, and he goes up for the dunk. Not here. Get that out of here. This my house. Stanford holding on here. They're up by 10. He has not had monster stats, but you'll take his blocks. You'll take his ability to assist. You know, he gets on the glass. He has had some good rebounds and post-ups.
Blakes gonna work his way inside. Finds Sellers right at the rim.
Yeah, I so like to see Oziyah Sellers just around the basket, and they had the presence of mind to find him. Now they're in the zone. Kyle Smith's playing the zone.
Welling, great shot fake, and he punishes the rim.
Aiden Cameron has got to stay on his feet. You want a challenge out there, but you can't just leave your feet and open up the floodgates. That was emphatic, Doug.
Lead is 10. Again. Okpara, good pass fake. Trying to slither his way inside, and he draws the foul. Stanford in the bonus, though I believe they're going to say he was in the act anyways.
Well,
no,
how about the pump fake and the slam? You got to stay glued. You can't get up off the floor. There's no help when you get beat that bad on a pump fake. But I like, again, getting back to Chisholm Okpara and what he's meant to this team, especially this evening. He's done this in his career. He did it for Tommy Amaker at Harvard, as you mentioned, a transfer. Got to the line there. He's starting to get his feet wet a little bit. He's struggled a little bit from the line, but I think the more you get there, the better you'll shoot. But he did a good job there of just going through his defender and drawing contact. That's what good players learn how to do. Jaylen Blakes is a master at it.
The second in his family to transfer from the Ivy League to Stanford. His sister Chidima, a tennis player at Dartmouth, and transferred to Stanford to play on the tennis team.
Well,
here.
that means you're doing pretty well academically too.
Yep.
Stanford switching out now. They're switching, rotating out.
Welling, a couple of shots at the rim, can't hit the three.
Okpara on the glass again. That's another rebound. You can see when Maxime's out on the floor, Okpara picks up the slack.
Raynaud finding Agarwal. Good look inside. Okpara, he was open momentarily. Blakes setting up Raynaud. A step back. He thought it was going down. What a rebound, Agarwal. Sellers, the midi.
Yeah, good looking shot, just didn't get it to fall, but Stanford had some opportunities there to try to extend the lead.
Going inside to Grady. Has the mouse in the house, but couldn't take advantage.
Now you heard him, hurry the shot. Now Stanford, no hurry, I think, to see if they can get something going just to kind of salt this game and at least get an extended lead here.
Yeah, try to shorten this one a bit. An illegal screen called.
Yes, moving screen. You got to get set. Both feet have to be set. You can't turn into somebody, and officials right on it. Good call. But again, Stanford, every time they make a run, and it's early in the season, but every time they make a run, the good news is they get the lead. The bad news is they've kind of opened the door. So Cal Smith and his coaching staff still searching for that consistency. That maybe it's killer instinct, maybe it's just discipline. But and it's also some of it's Utah Valley. They just don't go away. They're a very good basketball team.
Yeah, to your point, Coach, they were up 7 with 7 minutes to go against Cal Poly and then lost by 7. Nelson can't hit. Sellers grabs it. Sellers getting downhill. Strong take and finish.
I love that finish by Oziyah Sellers. I mean, he used his body. He's got ability to go up to the glass and really stretch it out there. Great move by Sellers.
15 for the former Trojan. Blakes the rebound. And I think Stanford can sense it a little bit now.
Well, they've been in this position, so I know Kyle Smith's standing up and not ready yet, and maybe, just a basket away, maybe just from kind of getting some comfort, some breathing room.
A couple of buckets or stops. Raynaud giving it away. Nelson lowering his shoulder, takes the contact there.
Well, Jaylen Blakes got the steal, Kevin. I mean, that's another Jaylen Blakes steal. I mean, he's just remarkable in the way he gets his hands on balls, and so you think they're going in the other direction. Maxime Raynaud gets his hands on it and then turns it over. So, for every good thing that Stanford's doing, they're just trying to give it right back. This is the holiday season. Maybe they're in a
season of giving.
In a giving mood right now. It's not Christmas or Hanukkah, not yet. I mean, no, you can wait a couple of weeks to get in the giving season.
Yeah, I want to say Hanukkah starts on Christmas Day this year.
Yeah, that doesn't happen often, but it's going to be a dual celebration for a lot of folks in this area and around the world. But Kyle Smith, I mean, I think he likes what his team has done, but he wants just to get a little more consistent with it. And he's got some pieces that he's put together. When they've been good, Kevin, this year, they've been awfully good. I mean, not just good. They've just dominated at times this year.
They're a good-looking team. Kyle Smith has this program going in the right direction. Raynaud keep flipping in. Sellers, the step back. Fawcett's gone a little dry both ways.
Yeah,
Foul.
I think again, they've had some good looks, but Stanford doesn't have to be in a hurry. And so now you're playing, you know, from behind, you're playing on your heels. That's a good call, wasn't all the way there. So you got the lead, you got to really, you know, settle in. But you don't want to give Utah Valley a chance to get this thing in single digits and then make it a 3-possession game the way they can knock down some shots. I think fatigue's setting in a little bit. You can see Utah Valley a little tired, having been on the road, Kevin.
That'll happen.
Yeah, and so they're a little short on their free throws, but they're a game group. They're going to win some games this year.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And then you don't see Nelson. I mean, that's unfortunate. But here's that press again. Reaped some dividends last time.
Missed his last 3 free throws, Nelson.
You're Stanford. You don't need to be in a hurry. You need to get as many seconds off that clock and just try to get it in your scorer's hands.
Blakes gets around Wells. Good rotations defensively from the Wolverines. Geeler, tough shot. Utah Valley playing the requisite defense to give themselves a chance here.
Boy, Jaylen Blakes just doesn't make it easy, does he?
Well, it's a pass.
It's another. Oh, that could have gone either way. That's another Jaylen Blakes play. But Oziyah Sellers, Kevin, how about his move? How about his lift to the basket, his finish? He's put his Stanford Cardinal up by 14.
In a game effort from the artists formerly known as Utah Valley State back in the day. Wells catch and shoot. Good inbounds play.
That's not a good inbound play, Kevin. That's a great inbounds play. And here's the press.
This turned Stanford over a couple of times, and they almost coaxed a travel out of Geeler there. Great pass. Stinson cutting along the baseline from Raynaud.
How about Raynaud? He could have pulled it out. He said, you know what, I'm going to take the 2. And he delivered. Great assist.
Wells missing the 3. Agarwal the rebound, but off him, out of bounds.
There's the play up at Raynaud, and the ball did not stick in his hands. That was a great look. I mean, he knew that his teammate was there. He had to know he was there with his periphery, and he got it there, and the 2 points is needed 2 points.
Yeah, good feel from Stinson. This is his first collegiate game.
Yeah, amazing.
Freshman from Washington, 3-star recruit. Played well tonight. Yanked down by Raynaud. That is his 17th rebound.
Well, he has not had a big scoring game, Kevin, but if you can not have a big scoring game and you can go for 17 rebounds, you're earning your weight.
Double-double number 8. That leads the country. Good kick out to Stinson. Agarwal the rebound and follow.
That's Stanford on the glass. They're a lot bigger right now. They've got some guys that long inside, and that's a big offensive rebound by Agarwal.
Agarwal in double figures with 10. Oh, Blakes thought he got it clean, but bumped Green. And free throws coming up for Kylan Green.
Yeah, you can see really, you know, Kevin, that if you're watching this Utah Valley team, when they're fresh and they've got their energy and, you know, they are a difficult group to contend with. They've got guys that are quick to the basket. They play well together. They did a good job, I thought, defensively until Stanford made their run. But they're going to get the job done this year, I think, as the season goes on.
Now, I'll admit, I've only watched Grand Canyon and Utah Valley out of the 9 WAC teams, but they're picked to finish 5th in the WAC preseason poll. I think it'd be hard-pressed to find 4 teams
here's
better
a stat.
than them.
As a coach, I always looked at defensive field goal percentage. They hold their opponents to 42, 43%. Now, if you have a good offensive game and you're holding your opponents down, you've got a chance to win games. And they're doing a good job. And by the way, they're only giving up 28 rebounds as a team. I mean, teams aren't coming in and dominating them on the glass. They're 39 to 28 on the glass. Think about that differential.
problem for them today, they're only shooting 35%, as you just saw.
And that's going to happen. You're not going to be able to, especially when you're tired. You've been on the road. You're a little fatigued. But the stat that I like is the defensive field goal percentage, and 39-28. You are dominating your opponents by 11 on the glass. If you can use those stats to your advantage, and you just have a normal or a decent offensive night, you're going to be in a position to win games.
Talked about them winning at Murray State, defeating UTEP earlier in the year by 29.
Well, and they've also, they've shown you the ability to press. Watch the press here. They're getting the diamond press, and they wanted this travel here. I'm not so sure that there might not have been an extra cha-cha-cha in there. And so, they were fortunate, Stanford, that they got out of that one, because they have turned it over a couple of times against this press by Utah Valley. So Utah Valley's going to go back to it again, probably more of a man press. Don't think they want to get a double team and then give up a wide open layup. So here's going to be a trap coming off of a picked up dribble, and there it is. Raynaud knows what to do.
Powers it down.
And that's why I mentioned, Kevin, the 2 on the ball gives somebody an opening, and it's dangerous if you go 2 on the ball and you deny everybody else. You got a guy at the rim, you give up the 2.
Raynaud 14 and 17. Taps the rebound out to Agrawal there. Stanford could start to salt this away. Blakes to the bucket. Now we got a palindrome score, 75-57. There's a foul.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of the frustration now with Utah Valley. They've been close. They were knocking on the door. But here it is. Here's that pass. Great look by Agrawal down the floor. If you have your head up against the press, good things happen. If you turn your back to the action, you don't see your teammates down the floor, you're going to get pressed and continue to get pressed.
Nelson at the line. Of course, after this for Stanford, they got Cal. ACC opener. Should be a fun one,
They
Coach.
do, and I'll tell you, if you haven't seen that Cal team play, and I know the Stanford staff has, we've talked about it, they've got some depth this year. They've got some players. They played without 3 starters for 3 straight games and still found ways to win. But, Stanford's with the veteran staff. You've got guys that have been around in the Pac-12 as coaches, and Jim Shaw and Derek Roble, and you've got guys, obviously that have done the job, and Steve Frankowski and Wayne Hunter. Those guys have been around, so they'll get it together.
An alley-oop exceptionnel from Raynaud to Stinson.
Now wait a minute, I thought he was the shooter, not the dunker. Had some Dunkin' Donuts. Great feed, big fella to his teammate.
Stinson with 7 points in his first collegiate game. Good take by Holcomb. That's Jackson Holcomb, the redshirt freshman.
I like Utah Valley continue just to play. They're hustling. They really are.
.50 seconds to go.
Yeah, they just pull it out. They don't. The clock's on their side.
Posting up Raynaud.
Yeah, he wanted a foul call when the referee said, "Look, we got to play to catch." And here's the pass. How about Raynaud? He's thrown some dimes tonight. Be careful if you're a point guard in this team. Raynaud may want your spot for a few minutes. He has really been good with his assists this year. Sometimes Maxime's too unselfish a player, but he has really done a good job getting his teammates the ball when they needed him. So his point production went down, but he still gave his team a huge lift today. Huge lift with his rebounds.
Yeah, 3 assists as well. Averaged under assists per game each of his first 2 years. 2 assists per game last year, 1.8 per game this year. Blakes, could he get to 20? The snatch back. Rebound there for Major Sullivan, leading to that nice finish from Nelson.
Yeah, great finish. I think you're going to see, hopefully, there'll be some pressing. I think Stanford will try to just beat the clock and play catch. I don't think they're going to try to score. They're just going to hold it. And good sportsmanship. But, if you're Stanford, you like the finish. You like the way your team came back. You battled back against a game effort for Utah Valley. And Stanford will take this one. It's a good bounce-back win after their disappointing loss to Cal Poly. And they came back big in this game.
So Stanford snaps the